Let them know, Tiffy. Listen, they all the sense be hitting. Welcome in, welcome in. I am so excited to have y'all a part of Bonnets and Bottles tonight. We're going to be having a great time. If you've never been a part of Bonnets and Bottles before, you are in for a treat. We will be reading AITI stories from Reddit, and we'll be sitting and we'll be judging. So we've got our bonnet, we got our bottle, and we're ready to have some fun. Tonight I'm sipping on some Patron and some guava with a little bit of to keep it classy, some club soda. I'm having fun with it. So grab your bonnet, grab your bottle, and get in and get ready to have some fun. And if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them. How many people will be enrolled into the China School of Home Training? Let's find out. We'll find out tonight. I'm gonna see the YouTube isn't working. I'm gonna quickly do YouTube again. Not YouTube, Instagram. And what's going on with this? This app is so funky. Welcome in to everyone. And then you guys can save on the site with the code BB20. You can get 20% off with the code BB20. Okay, let's try this again for Bonnets and Bottles. And turn this camera around. All right, let's try it one more time. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get dive in with our first story. If you have never joined Bonnets and Bottles before, welcome. My name is Chioma. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cee Cee's Closet NYC. We come together to have our bonnets with our bottles. And if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We love to chat back. Okay, now the YouTube is also acting weird. Let's go ahead and just see what's going on here. Okay. Ooh, Chile. Not me having all these technical difficulties all in one live. Okay, let me see this one. Edit. Okay, this one's fine. Okay, we're good to go. All right, welcome in, welcome in. Let's get into Bonnets and Bottles, and we have a fun little giveaway to get us started on TikTok. And we're gonna get started with our first story. I appreciate y'all's patience. Thank you, thank you. And let's get into it. Okay, so the first story that we're gonna go to is, am I the a-hole for not telling my partner that I didn't clean up his mess? Dun, dun, dun. Let's find out, what mess did he make? My initial answer is going to be no, because if you didn't clean up his mess, like, I'm not sure why he's expecting you to clean up after him. You are not his mother. Let's find out. So my partner, 34 male, and I, 33 female, have been together for 4 years now. That's a long-term relationship. Last night, he got drunk and listened to his music downstairs, which he does sometimes on the weekends. He came to bed around midnight. I stayed up late playing games, and around 3 a.m. he stands up from the bed. He walks over to the bedroom door and stands there a moment, and then I hear a pitter patter of liquid hitting our linoleum floor. What? I immediately sit up and say, babe, babe, to which he stops and goes, whoa, and stops, heads to the bathroom to finish up. He stumbles back to bed and passes out. What? What is going on? Oh my goodness. Uh, okay, I'm gonna finish the rest of the story, but that is wild. Hi, Spicy Memer. Thank you so much for joining. We listen and we listen and but we do judge. We do judge here. Okay, let's see what the rest of this is. I'm sorry. Okay. This isn't the first time he's peed somewhere he shouldn't in his sleep. What? What? This isn't the first time he's peed somewhere he shouldn't in his sleep. But it isn't something that happens a lot. I think it's happened maybe 3 times in his whole life. Twice before we dated, and this is the only time I've been around for. Okay, it's like he's sleepwalking and he gets confused. I grumble, take a photo of the puddle, plop a towel down, and send him the photo of the message saying, just in case you forgot, you pissed on the floor last night. Because, in my opinion, it's his responsibility to clean up. It wasn't a huge puddle, just a small one. He wakes up around 11, sees my message, walks over to the towel, starts his morning. I look, I took over. I look over and the cat is sitting on the towel, to which I go, no, the towel is dirty. My partner suddenly looks up. Is the towel from last night, he asked. And I said, well, yeah, I respond. Why didn't you tell me it was still dirty? He complained. I said I wasn't going to clean up the mess he made last night, that it was his responsibility. He said, that's not what I'm saying. Why didn't you tell me sooner? It was still there so I could clean it. So now he's sulking and cranky with me. He says it's because I didn't tell him sooner. But I'm, in my opinion, that he's just mad that I didn't clean it up for him. Like, he knew it was there. He saw the message. So if he didn't clean it, who else would have? Am I the a-hole for not cleaning up my partner's mess? Um, Sir, you know what? I'm gonna have a sip of water. I think that if you're leaving bodily fluids anywhere, you are responsible for cleaning up those bodily fluids. That, in my opinion, if you're leaving bodily fluids, you are responsible for cleaning up those bodily fluids. But yeah, that's like the first thing. The next thing is he said, hi, yo solo. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, that's like the first thing. Clean up your bodily fluids. I think that sending the text and being like, hey, clean this up in the morning, totally fair, and that's what you should do. Welcome, Sunshine. Thank you so much for joining. We are doing Bonnets and Bottles, so we're reading Reddit stories from Am I the A-hole thread, and we're judging. And we're sipping our bonnet. We have our bonnets on and we're sipping in our bottle, baby. So yeah, the first thing is, yeah, you should clean up your own bodily fluids. I think that the partner was upset because they were embarrassed. We listen and we do judge Sonia. I'm here for it. The partner was upset because they were embarrassed, and that's why they were mad that you didn't say anything. So that's what they were mad about. I think that, yeah, this is a lot. I probably would break up, but I'm looking for a reason to go. I do be looking for a reason to go, so that might just be me. But I would be very judgmental in this moment, and I would no longer be with that man. Enroll him in the Uchenna School of Home Training, girl. And he says it's happened multiple times in his life. Like, but also, why are you getting so drunk? Like, y'all are 34. Like, why are you getting so drunk that you're peeing in places that you shouldn't be peeing? That's my question. Because I'm just like, that's cute when you're like that. It's not even cute when you're 22. But when you're 22, okay, I understand you don't know your limits yet. But you're 34, you know how much you can drink to have a good time and still be able to like wake up in the morning and be okay, and also sleep through the night without peeing on the floor. So yeah. Jamie said send him to the School of Home Training. Yeah, because why are you peeing on the floor, sir? So I do not think that the partner was the a-hole for not cleaning it up. I do think that they should have directly said, please clean up your shit. Like, this is gross. But I also think the other partner is the a-hole for having to be told to clean up after themselves, because I'm not cleaning up anybody's bodily fluids. That's a lot. You're not my child. I don't got time for it. Hi, Christina. Welcome to Bonnets and Bottles, beautiful. How you doing, beautiful? Oh, thank you so much, Sonia. You're so sweet. Kendra, welcome in, welcome in. And then if y'all have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We're going to move on to the next story. But yeah, I don't think that they were the asshole for not cleaning up his mess. I do think that they could have just been more direct in their communication. But yeah. And then now the cat got to take a bath. And I know cats don't like water, because I'm not touching that cat. That cat's not touching nowhere else in my house after sitting on the pee towel. That's a lot. That's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. Welcome in, you guys. Make sure you guys are running up those likes, comments, and shares. And make sure you guys are running up those comments. And if you have any product questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We love to chat back. Larry, I'm kicking you out. Like, you're being weird. And it's a bonnet. But yeah, we for sure judging him. We for sure judging him. And then, thank you so much, Sunshine. You're so sweet. We're going to go ahead and go on to the next story. But we'll see. We gonna see. And I'm putting some tiny dinies. If y'all got some tiny dinies for me, go ahead and run a tiny diny my way off from my TikTok. Baddies. Welcome in. We are doing Bonnets and Bottles. If you're your first time in the live, welcome to Bonnets and Bottles, where we have a good time. We sip on our bottles, we wear our bonnets, and we judge the stories that we're reading. The next story is, am I the a-hole for refusing to go see my husband's school musical? I'm gonna say my bias is, if my husband is not Broadway musical material, I'm not going either. But you should support your partner's interests. I, 40s female, and my husband, 40s males, are in an argument regarding an incident that happened with my daughter's musical this previous weekend. My daughter, 15-year-old female, was at a musical at her high school that had been practiced for months leading up to her performance. She performed a total of 4 times, once for the parent night, 3 different shows from the weekend. I have gone to all of the rehearsals, pickups from practice, and had volunteered to work during the intermission shifts and pre-shows for the musical boosters group. I only asked that her father and 2 brothers attend 1 show. They came to the afternoon showing. At the intermission, he mentioned to me that he wanted to head home because he had not been feeling well. Plus, he was feeling a little hungry and tired. I told him that the second act was only about 35 minutes and it would be short, and I thought it would be nice for everyone to stay and show support for our daughter. He decided to leave anyway and took our sons with him. I was beyond upset, and we had an argument about it. I said that it was very selfish to leave and not be there for his daughter when she walked out, and everyone else's family had stayed and was giving hugs and flowers when she came out. It would have been me. It would have been only me again. Fast forward to this weekend, and my husband asked if we all want to go see the musical at the school where he teaches. I said I didn't want to go and sit through someone else's home musical when he had not bothered to sit through his own daughter's. Oh, she came with the receipts. He told me that I'm wrong for my opinion and that I was being hateful. He then asked my daughter if she wanted to go with him. He would take her, but it had to be, it would have to be a matinee on Sunday because he didn't want to drive at night. She has a voice lessons on Sundays and she doesn't want to miss her voice lessons. Instead, he said if she doesn't want to go, he'll take her grandmother instead with him. And he's saying that I'm being unreasonable when I said that he's not being a supportive father. Am I the a-hole? Excuse me, sir. You couldn't say you were hungry and a little tired, so you didn't have 35 minutes for your daughter's musical, the second half of her musical, and then you want the whole family to come and support you? Clearly, this man has a little bit of main character syndrome, because what? Not the a-hole. OP is not the a-hole. The husband needs to get a grip. Christina said nope. Squid Game said nope, right? No worries. Thank you so much for joining, Sunshine. Squid Game said nope. I don't know what this father was on, but he lost his goddamn mind. Hi, Pisces Moon. Thank you so much for the tiny dinies. Beautiful. He lost his goddamn mind. No, you're not gonna not show up to support your daughter and then be like, whole family come and support me for my musical. I must have entered the Twilight Zone. He a diva. He ain't no diva. I don't have time for it. I'm glad she didn't go. I wouldn't go either. No thanks, cause what? No, like really, like what? What is he on? And I think when it comes to showing up for your family, I know that there are certain things that we don't enjoy doing. Not everyone's musical is going to be High School Musical. Not everyone has some talented singers in their school. There's going to be some times you got to sit through kids' performances and you bored, you tired, and it's bad. Because some kids are just not good performers. It is what it is. But when it is your child in there, you better be sat in the front row cheering them on as they put themselves out there in this world. Come on now, sir. And then you couldn't be bothered to sit through the second half of her show, and you tell her to come drive and miss her voice lessons that you paying for. I mean, I don't even know if you paying for it, that you paying for them good voice lessons to come see. Nonsense. Hey, Mies, how you doing, beautiful? Congratulations, Kinsey. You said nope. You said now he has a taste of his own medicine, right? I was like, it's your child. Like, this is your kid. Like, I understand that the musicals are bad. Like, I get it. Some of these kids are not talented. It's not the most enjoyable time to spend. It's not the most enjoyable way to spend your time. But like, sir, if you don't get up off your behind and go support that child of yours, we're going to have some problems. Hi, Tara. Sorry to interrupt, but just put your Dakar on again, and every time I use it, I like it more and more. She's a banger. I told you she's a banger. She might be a slow burn, but she gonna burn, baby. She might be a slow burn, but she gonna burn, baby. Thank you, Otto. I don't know what's going on with Instagram Live, so I'm gonna just X this out because I don't know. It's just freaking out. So we're gonna just X that out. I don't know what's going on with that. And we're just hanging out with YouTube and TikTok for now. All right. On to the next story. Let me know if anyone else has any opinions. But y'all know what the right opinion is. But I will say this. I am maturing in my views of relationships. And the mature version of me would just be like to that husband, be like, hey, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Would be like, hey, at the moment when he was leaving, I would be like, I don't think you should leave. You need to stay here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kinsey. It's that Cee Cee's baby. I was like, I don't think you should leave. I think you should stay here and support your daughter. I would express that very clearly. And then when he was asking for me to come to his musical, I'd be like, it seems to me to be a bit unfair that you're asking for support and not willingly giving support in the family. And I don't think that it was kind of you to not show up for your daughter. And I don't think it's fair for you to ask me to then show up for you. That's mature. That's the healed version of me talking. Healed version talking. And y'all, all right, if y'all don't have nothing else to say, but that husband can get it. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. That husband can get it because he was really trying me. We're gonna do, not him trying me. He was really trying it. He tried it with that. Tried it with that. And if y'all have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. You know we love to chat back. I'm going to go ahead and do our next story. We're going to go ahead and do, would I be the a-hole if I refused to chip in to a bachelorette party Venmo crowdfund? Let's find out. Are you invited to the bachelorette party? Because if you're not invited, let's find out. My girlfriend is at a bachelorette party in Vegas this weekend. Okay. The group had the great idea to post and repost a Buy Our Girl a Shot story with one of the attendees' Venmos listed. When I first saw this one on a friend's story, I was amused. Hey, if people feel like sending a few bucks as a form of well-wishing, by all means. I thought about sending $15 myself as it wouldn't be a burden on me. However, shortly after, my girlfriend messaged me and told me to chip in $100 minimum. I like this girlfriend knows what she's worth. Informing me that all the other attendees, boyfriends or husbands, their close friends and a big group chipped in $100 at worst. Her justification was that it's her close friend getting married. As her boyfriend, I should also help contribute to this happy milestone in her friend's life. with the sub implication being that everyone else's SOs paid a pretty penny. It'd make me and her by extension look bad if I didn't pay $100 minimum. The kicker, the girl started posting stories with screenshots and tags of everyone who's paid payment, thanking everyone later that day. Yo, I love it. You know what? These girls know how to apply pressure. The pressure is he's feeling that pressure. He's feeling the pressure. Oh my God, I'm done. Okay. That coming with the receipts and the tags in the stories saying thank you to the people who sent money is cracking me up. Oh my goodness. They're all drinking hard and living it up. I don't think they meant it to be malicious, but it had the effect of making me feel like I couldn't be the only significant other who didn't chip in yet for my girlfriend's sake. Eventually relented and paid and got tagged in a story after. While $100 won't break my bank at the end of the day, the principle feels so wrong to me, and I feel so gross for having essentially being roped into donating the money for them to party. The other thing I mentioned to my friends if a group of us guys tried to pull that at a bachelor party, we'd be ridiculed. So the whole thing feels slimy. Would I be the asshole if I refused to pay out of principle and my girlfriend was maybe privately ostracized upon due to everyone else's boyfriend paying up? I know they wouldn't publicly shame her, but they would definitely be thinking, wow, all our boyfriends chipped in for us for this fun thing except for my girlfriend's boyfriend. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm biased. I'm going to say my bias out loud. I am biased because public embarrassment, public humiliation is like one of my biggest fears / pet peeves. I'm not into public embarrassment. I don't do it. I can't do it. So I think that her telling her boyfriend like, hey, because she knew that her man was going to, she knew he was going to chip in. She knew he was going to chip in, which is why she went out and she was like, hey, just so you know, the minimum that to chip in is $100. Just so you know, because that's what everyone else was chipping in. I don't think that she was trying to be mean or pressure him. She was just letting him know that like anything that's not $100 is going to look weird in the environment that I'm in right now. Which is fair because drinks in Vegas are expensive. Having a good time in Vegas is not a cheap time. It is an expensive time. So I understand that. I think that him being like, oh, if the shoe was on the other foot, it wouldn't be okay for us to ask for people to buy us a shot. Da, da, da. You're a man. You're a man. We are in a patriarchy. You literally get paid more money for the same job. Like I want people to be so freaking for real. Like I need you to be so freaking for real. And then also like I don't know, like it's just like just be so freaking for real. Like there's data that's coming out now that women are starting to close the pay gap because we're taking more white collar jobs, and that's cool. But it's a starting to close. It's not that it's closed. You a man, you get paid more money. Buck up, like. And you said, like you said, $100 isn't gonna break the bank. And she didn't say, if you don't pay me this $100, I'm gonna break up with you. If you don't send $100, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z for you. Because I know, I don't even know if they were together, but if it was me and my boo was having hard times, and I was trying to save face for the girls, I will Venmo him $100 and tell him to Venmo the girl $100 because I'm not gonna be embarrassed. But yeah, he's doing too much. He was doing too much. He cared too much about this. Don't be telling people what to do with their money. You don't know people's situation. It's true, but she wasn't telling people what to do. I don't think you should tell people what to do with their money. You don't know their situation. But I think that if she knew that her boyfriend or husband didn't have $100 to send for the party, she wouldn't have asked for it, or she would have figured something else out. But I think she knew that he had the $100. I think she knew he had the $100 because that was her boyfriend. And they had just posted in the story, hey, buy some shots for our girl. Buy some shots for our girl at the Bachelorette, Christina. So it wasn't like a forced thing. She was just saying like, yo. Because when she found out that everybody else had given money, she was like, I'm not going to be the only one whose man don't get some money. And I think that is fair. If he ain't had the money, I will send him the money and have him send it. Because I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm not going to be embarrassed. This is weird. Sorry for all the weirdos in the chat, Christina. But that's just me. Y'all don't have to agree with me, but I'm not finna be publicly embarrassed. We finna figure it out. We finna figure it out. And also, it wasn't his friend. It was his girlfriend. So it was his girlfriend who was at the bachelorette. She called him up, be like, "Hey, you trying to send?" Because he was like, "I was gonna send 15. You can't be sending 15. Everybody's sending 100. That's a lot. That's the difference is too big for me. The difference is too big for me. Hi Tara, how you doing, beautiful? Welcome in, welcome in. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, per. Thank you so much, Kinsey. Tara's just cracking up. I'm just saying, how many friends went though? He said that it was a big group. He said that it was a big group. He said she had a big group of friends. I don't know what big is in this situation. But I feel like if you have like a bachelorette, I think if you have 5 or more people, that feels like, actually, I'm going to go with restaurant standards. If you have a 6 or more guests, it's a large group. It's considered a large group and they make you put down a deposit or something. So that's what I'm going to go with. They were making sure there was no bill to fight at the end of the night. That's what I'm saying. Cause honestly, me when I go out with my girls, we pay our own way. Like we cool and we chilling. Someone will probably put their credit card down and we all Venmo that person because they want the points, which I'm not mad at. Why don't you get your 2%, your 2%, 5% back, get a little something extra? Why not? But yeah, I personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think letting him read the room, because also if she knows her man, like for example, like if she knows her man, I don't know how long they've been together, but if she knows her man and she knows like, oh, if he sees something like this, he's gonna think it's funny. Maybe he'll send $10, maybe he'll send $15. I don't know where they're from. They could be from Minnesota, where drinks be like $15. I don't even, are drinks $15? I don't even know how much drinks be costing. But like in New York and in Vegas, you trying to get a drink, you need to have $20, $30 for one drink. So they really was buying 3 drinks each, which I feel like is a reasonable amount to buy in a night out. But that's just me. I already reported one. I'm not the one. Men can be so, girl, they really can. Thank you so much, Rev Chap. Thank you so much for joining. They were making, but I'm here for making sure that there's no bill at the end of the night. You got a man. He should be doing some man things. Let's get into it. But yeah, I think that would I call him an asshole for feeling weird about it? No, because I think that in the society that we live in today, I do feel like it can feel like a little bit uncertain what men's roles are in relationships a lot of times. So I think it depends on what your relationship with this woman is, like how y'all decide that you want to split things up. But I don't think that he should be thinking about it this hard. I don't think that he should be thinking about it this hard. So I just think it's just silly fun. All right. Let's see. We're going to go on to the next story unless anybody has anything else that they want to chime in. Okay. Am I the a-hole? My husband hasn't spoken to me for 3 weeks. To live in the same house and sleep in the same bed as somebody and not talk to them for 3 weeks that's a lot. Okay. So 3 weeks ago or so, my husband was talking about his diet and I mentioned about how he should have more fiber in it. And he was like, oh, how do I get more fiber? And I mentally thought we both have access to Google, but I didn't want to be rude. So I replied with the answers, and he goes, you wouldn't make meals like that for me, would you? And I responded, I'm your wife, not your mother. He said it was an extremely rude thing to say and hasn't spoken to me for 3 weeks. This man is unwell. I'm sorry. That man is unwell. What? Oh my God. For context, we have 3 children and he's only here for a day and a half a week as he works away. So he would have expected me to bulk cook on the weekends for him to take it with him. My response wasn't meant maliciously. I haven't apologized because I genuinely meant it. We've been together for 15 years and it feels like he was manipulating me. He can never be bothered to research or implement for his health, even though he's a highly intelligent and capable man. I guess I feel frustrated. He will pour everything into work, 15-hour days, etc. But on the home front, the boring day to day, it's all on me. This isn't the first time he's gone silent, but I usually always make good or apologize. And this time I haven't. It's just so awkward. The longer it goes on, the more resentful I feel over it. He's pretty much my only solid adult interaction in person, both physically and mentally. And I feel super alone, but also sorry for him because he must really be sad and he must be really a sad and cruel person to afflict this on another person. Writing this has made me realize just how deeply unhappy I am with him. LOL. But anyway, am I the a-hole? Edited to add, he's on a salary and a very high up in his company. He earns the same for a 40 or 80-hour work week. He's not paid by the hour, and overtime isn't a thing, but his role he's being forced to stay by he isn't being forced to stay there by anyone but himself. Okay, so this man sees his family 1.5 days a week, and he's giving you the silent treatment. Did you marry a toddler? Come on. I think that, like, if you're in a situation where, okay, I will say, for context, I am a single woman. I'm a single woman. Okay? I'm single. But I think that communication is key. And I feel like she expressed a lot of additional frustrations in this post that she might not have expressed directly to him yet. And I will say that if you do not feel like you are getting what you need out of a relationship, as an adult, we have words to be able to communicate with each other. And I don't think that you can hold someone to a standard that you have not expressed to them. That's the first thing. So if she's feeling like, hey, you're not doing enough at home, she should tell him. Oh, okay, this is a lot. This is an uncomfortable thing to say. Um, this is an uncomfortable thing to say. Okay. If you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, you should say this. And it shouldn't be the first time you say it is when you feel upset. I think the second thing is this. If you're like, hey, I am already responsible for raising our 3 kids and taking care of their diet, me packing up your lunch for the week for you and doing that additional labor is just not something I have the bandwidth for now. That's also an adult way to have this conversation. I think that sometimes you can end up being snippy and rude if you're upset and frustrated about other things. That aside, I think that the expectation that she should take on additional work in order for him to get his fiber that he's worried about, like, bro, you want more fiber? Like, you got 2 hands, you can cook. You got a whole day and a half. And then she also said that he does not have to spend the day and a half. He does not have to spend his week at work because he works normal 15-hour days. I'm not sure what excuses he made to be able to have this arrangement, but that's what they're up to. So that's weird. Christina says that sounds like emotional abuse. I agree, but I also think that, like, I'm for people having solid relationships with their partners, but also having solid adult relationships outside of their partners. Because I love Reddit and I love the Am I the A-hole thread, but a lot of these people should be talking to their friends and family about these situations. Like, you should talk to people in your real life about this, because I think that one of the great things about being human is that we can, like, come together, have discussions, and learn from each other. So yeah, she need to get some adult friends. I think that she's deeply unhappy because she doesn't have enough adult interaction in her day-to-day life. And like, if her husband's not around all the time, she does need to make some friends outside of the home, just like for her own mental clarity and happiness. And then I also think that she needs to communicate with him more effectively if this is a relationship that she wants to continue. But she did say that she's deeply unhappy, so she don't want to be there. There's the door, girl. You gotta go. If you gotta go, you gotta go, baby. Not speaking to somebody for 3 weeks is childish. Did this man know that he did not marry his mother? It's true. 15 years couldn't be me, right? She has to cook for the whole week. He's only home a day and him only being home a day and a half is like, that just puts into perspective like the expectation that he has, and that's like a lot. There is more than one issue. How do we know he ain't got somebody else? Girl, I mean, he asking her. I don't know if he lives somewhere else during the week, but I don't know what's going on. Not the a-hole. He sounds like he wants to be a child in this relationship. And I think that's like the thing that I feel like in the past, like society had put so much pressure on women to make relationships work at all costs and like didn't really expect men to be adults. And I think that like she having that expectation, like, hey, like I'm gonna take care of you as your wife, but I'm not gonna take care of you as your mother. I think I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think it's fair for her to want that. And but I also think the acuteness to which she feels him blocking her out, part of that acuity comes from her not having any other adults in her life. And that's why it feels like so intensely cruel. And I don't know, I'm not going to purport to know whether or not he means it that way, but like the way that she's experiencing it is part of it is a prison of her own making and not maintaining relationships with other adults. Y'all lucky I can't put a GIF in here. I do love a good GIF. I think, can you put GIFs on TikTok, on YouTube? I don't know. He can't buy some fruit and vegetables to get his fiber. And I was also just like, also the fact that this blow up is about fiber is cracking me up, because I was like, fiber, like you can get an apple a day, like sir, like come on. And there's so many bars and shit with fiber in that, it's really not that deep. 15 years of choosing mostly to stay at work, then your family is crazy to me. I agree. I think that's weird. Hi, Rennie baby. Sometimes people become isolated, especially after having children. No, it's so true. But I think that you have to consciously make an effort to maintain those other relationships so that you can have that village that you can lean on and you can have those people around you. My closest friends and I, we've been friends for, it's going to be 20 years in a few years, which is crazy to think about. In like 2 years, it's going to be like 20 years of friendship. Insanity to think about. But like part of how we've maintained that friendship through the different stages of our lives is just making an effort to like touch base with each other and see each other. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing, but you should have someone that you can call when you have a situation like this come up and you want to discuss it with another adult, or just even when you want to talk about your favorite TV shows and stuff and you don't want to talk about Blue's Clues with your kids all day. I think that's fair. Tara says she's a single parent, basically. This lighting is giving ghost story. TikTok didn't tell me again. Oh, I'm sorry, girly. Is it giving ghost story? My ring light that I have, usually the part that bends it broke. So I'm still waiting. I ordered another one, but it's delayed. There's a lot going on right now. But I don't have any ghost stories, but next time I'll have a ghost story. Maybe for Halloween, I'll do spooky Am I the A-holes? Let me see what we got going on. You ain't lying, reminding me to reach out to my friends, lol. Sometimes when you're a mom and working full-time, it really is not easy to talk to it really is easy to not talk to anyone for a while. And Christina, that's totally, totally true. And I think that that's what makes it so attractive to lean on online communities. But I do think that human interaction with people who are your peers is so important. Like, when I was having, like, because I would say that the past couple of months have been a whirlwind for everyone. But one of the things that really helped me was just even going and visiting my friends. Like, I went to my friend's house and I'm in New York. Like, I've got 2 of my super close friends live in New York. And one of them, she lives close enough that I think that's like, I can get to her house in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, 30 minutes on a bad day. And I still just don't see her as often. But like, you have to like make a priority to like see your friends and cultivate and maintain those relationships, because that friendship is part of what helps keep you sane, and also part of what helps you continue to like define yourself outside of like all of your other relationships too. Yeah, Christina, you deserve to be you, not just a mom and colleague. Tara, that right there, that's a word. Tara, that is a word right there. And it's so true. And I think that like that's why I feel like friendships are so important, because these are the relationships that you choose to have, that are outside of like, that don't necessarily define you in the same way that motherhood and sisterhood and like daughterhood and and marriage defined you. So I think it's really important to continue to have that perspective of yourself as a friend. So it's good practice. You're welcome. You can't take care of everyone else if you don't take time for you. Yes. And like that time that your friends spend pouring into you is so healing. Like, when I tell you, when I went to my friend's house and I just took a nap at her house, yo, I really feel like part of my inner child was healed that day. Part of my inner child was healed. So if you have any friends that you haven't spoken to in a while, reach out. Just reach out. And like, the worst thing that can happen, it will suck if you get rejected. But I think that we've become a society that is so afraid of rejection that we're no longer trying, and it is costing us dearly. And I think it is so important for you to put yourself out there. Even though rejection sucks, it stings for a little bit, but it also allows you to move on, right? I'm one of those people is like, I like to know who's for me and who don't want me. So I like to know who's for me and who don't want me. So if I put myself out there and that person doesn't reciprocate, I know that I no longer have to count that person as a friend, and I can move on. Because at the end of the day, I know that I have a beautiful light in me. I have so much to give to those who I love, and those who are around me, that anyone who don't want it, I don't need to spend time on them. So go out, put yourself out there, reach out to your friends, be a friend too. I think sometimes we have lost in society how to be friends. It's not only about what you can get for people, but also what you can give to people too is important. And that giving is just as integral to our sense of self and community as the taking and being taken care of by your community. So that. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, have another sip, and get back into it. You said, this is true for people without kids too. It's easy to lose touch. It's true. I'm a single person without a child, and I probably haven't talked to one of my friends that I just talked to today. I probably haven't talked to her in like probably like 2 months or so. And I'm working on doing a better job of maintaining relationships with my friends. Cause like I would say, like, we've been friends for so long that I can go 6 months without talking to my friend. And I know that she still loves me. Like, I know that she still loves me. I know I can pick up the phone, I can call her, and it's Gucci. But I don't want that to be a habit, because this is a friendship, it's a relationship that's important to me. So I want to make sure that I'm also pouring into that relationship as well. It's crazy. I can go literal months without talking to my friends, but I talk to you all every day. True. And I appreciate y'all talking to me, but I want y'all to talk to your friends too. You do have a child, Cee Cee's closet. That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You said, I also live in NYC. Most of my friends moved out of the city. I'm 35 and I'm not sure how to make friends anymore. I also feel like everyone is a gentrifier. It's so weird. So it's weird, but I'll keep trying. I totally get that, Christina. But I think that there's a couple things that you're expressing that I wanna peel back on. I think the first thing is, like, with the friends that moved away, just because like you're not in physical proximity doesn't mean that y'all can't be friends anymore. A lot of my friends have moved away. So I would say, like, some of my closest friends have been moved to California, which makes me really sad. And I do miss them and I love them. But those are the friends that I will FaceTime, and we'll visit each other occasionally. So if you have any friends that moved away, I would say that it's okay to just be like, to reach out and just be like, hey girl, how you doing? How are things in North Carolina, wherever they at? Texas or wherever they done moved to that's cheaper than New York. So I would say that's like the first thing. Don't be afraid to reach out. And then the second thing, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm planning on going out more and just like doing things that I'm interested in, like going to lectures, going to like entrepreneurship meetups, and just like meeting people that way because you never know who's going to be your friend and who's not. And it doesn't have to be that every single person that you meet like becomes your bestie. I do have some more time on my hands because I don't have a child, but like that's one thing that you can do to help put yourself out there. I think the second thing is don't judge a book by its cover. There might be some gentrifiers that you find really entertaining and that y'all have a good time. Now, I'm not saying that all of them gonna be a good friend, but you just never know. I would say give people a chance, because just like you don't want to be judged by the way that you look, like don't judge them. Like give them a shot. If it don't work out, it don't work out. But I try to give people a chance. Lama, me too. I talk to Cee Cee's more than my own people. I'm done. I can always video call your friends. Exactly. Hi, Damien. Thank you so much for joining in the convo. I have 2 kids, and so you are fun and authentic. Oh, thank you so much, Trina. I appreciate you, beautiful. Trinia, my bad. Hello, welcome. Okay. So does anyone have anything else to add before we move on to the next story? But yeah, I think that don't let yourself get isolated in your relationships. I think it's really important to continue to have a life outside of your family, just because that helps you continue to be in touch with who you are, so you don't lose that sense of self. And making friends as an adult is hard, but one of the easiest ways to do it is through common interest. Another thing I'm thinking of doing, so a couple of things. One, I would love to do a bouquet making class because I really love flowers and I really do love putting together bouquets. They're really fun. But I also want to take some like adult like art classes and pottery classes and things like that, because I feel like when you have those hobbies and those interests, it creates a nice touch place for like talking to other adults and making friends that way. And just like how we used to make friends in school through our classes and our hobbies and the sports that we played, I think that those things still do take place as an adult. I think it can be a little bit harder because like maybe our skin isn't as tough as it was when we were kids and we're not as resilient to rejection. But I think that rejection is just redirection. So if somebody doesn't want to be your friend, that's okay. It might be awkward for a few weeks, then you keep on moving. Keep on moving, baby. He said, it's been something I'm trying to figure out why it's so easy for me to keep in touch with you all. I think it's because like we have that like, you know, that I'm going to be online every day, and it's so easy for like, it's easy, right? Because I'm here, y'all see me online every day, and then you guys like, it gives you that prompt, that reminder to like talk to me or talk to Kyra because you saw them in the live and stuff like that. So it makes it easier to chat. But I also think that like, you know, we have to, I think that adult relationships take effort, and sometimes the ease with which proximity makes maintaining relationships when we're younger, when that ease is taken away, it can make it feel like it's more difficult. But I don't think it's difficult. I think it's just more effortful. Like we just have to do it. Been waiting to go to a Pilates class. I did take Pilates for a bit, but when I was going to this Pilates studio, I was always the only person in class. So I became friends with the instructor. We became friendly, but I didn't make any other friends in the class. I love reading. You've read 949 books. I love that, Tara. I love that. But you also maybe join a book club where you can like meet up in person and discuss a book too. I think that could be really great. I think I just struggle to maintain communication consistently. Maybe it's some internal trust issues. I need to read some Ayanla or something. You know what, girly? Christina, I don't want you to be so hard on yourself, but I think you should also think about, that's like the first thing, because I think the first thing you got to do is forgive yourself. Like your life is in the state that it's in, but it's still valuable. You're still incredible, and you're still beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully made. Like that's like the first thing. But I think that when it comes to, not Tara needs to get a PhD with all the books, I love it. But when it comes to like maintaining, like I think that a lot of people have found that in adulthood, maintaining relationships can be difficult. And I would say that like, if it was not for, like I would say if it was left up to just me, I probably wouldn't be as close to some of my friends that I am as I am now, because they're just way better at keeping in touch than I am. Because I like to think of myself as like a low maintenance friend, but I realized that like, because like for me, when I say low maintenance friend, it's just like like if we're friends and our friendship is established in something, I'm always gonna be like your friend. Like we down for life. Like unless you do something to me, I'm a Taurus. I'm real loyal. Like unless you do something to me, I'm always gonna love you. And that's even if like I don't see you for 5 years and you just pop up and you're like, hey Chioma, can I come sleep on your couch? Like I would probably say yes. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I will probably say yes because we have that basis for that relationship. But I realize now that like when it comes to like being a friend and having friendships, that it's okay to like just participate in people's lives more, even if it's in different ways. And even if it's like virtually more because they live in a different place or like they don't have as much time to be in person with you. So I'm like working on being better about calling my friends consistently again and just like being more on top of that, because I think that like through being an adult, being an entrepreneur, there's so many ways to like self-isolate that we find, but it's so important for us to like continue to have that community, because that community sense that we want to feel, that we all desire, it comes from being a friend and being with other people physically. And so you want to make sure you have those like those physical interactions as well and like maintain that. And it can be tough. It takes effort. Even if it's a once a month thing, it does take effort. But you have to acknowledge that that effort is tough and then just get to it. It's just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's not worth it. I was gonna get a PhD in psychology. Tara, I feel like you gotta go get it, girl. You gotta go get it. Mies and I are on a 146-day streak, yes. But I haven't spoken to one of my best friends in 2 weeks. It sounds to me, Ren, like you need to go talk to your friend. You need to go call your friend. You got to go give them a call. And I also think that even if it's like something that you have to schedule, if you have to have like a recurring calendar reminder to say like, hey, reach out to so-and-so, do it because you care. And it might not seem natural at first, but I think like putting in that effort, doing that check-in and just being present in people's lives, it helps bring you back top of mind and also keeps them top of mind the more you interact with them too. I feel like this turned into a into a real chat. Calendar reminder to call your friend. I know, like a calendar reminder to call your freaking friends seems crazy, but like I feel like as an adult, like it's so hard to get caught up in the day to day. The way that like I'd be so shocked when it goes from Sunday to Friday again, and I'm like, how did this whole week pass? It's crazy. And like in life, adulthood is just a lot going on. So you want to give yourself the shot, give yourself a chance to just be a good friend, even if it means you got to do a calendar reminder. You deserve good things. I think you closed yourself out to anything that's not in your routine because you know for a fact that you can't get hurt and you're comfortable in the routine. And that's true. I think that we do get comfortable in our routines, and we are trying to protect ourselves from pain. But I also think that it's so important for us to give ourselves the opportunity to be part of community, because I think it's so beautiful. And I really do think it's the only thing that can save us, honestly, is getting back into community. Your skin is glowing and beautiful. What do? I do Cee Cee's Closet, baby. I use all my Cee Cee's goodies. That's how my skin stays glowing and beautiful. You can do it. Tara, I used to be a doctoral student, gotta find an advisor and program that will pour into you. And thank you for your words. Definitely not wanting to be disappointed. Exactly. And I think that here's the thing. We have to understand that if a person or a situation disappoints us, that does not mean that we are bad. It does not mean that that person is bad. It just means that the relationship didn't work. And just because this relationship doesn't work does not mean that other relationships won't work. We take the learnings from the situation and we keep moving forward. We cannot live lives afraid of rejection and disappointment, because that is not a life. That is not a life. We're not taking risks. If we're not taking risks, we're not putting ourselves out there. And I'm not saying do anything crazy. But if we're not taking risks and we're not putting ourselves out there, we're missing out on so many incredible things that could happen in our lives. Community is important, but it's also hard to find genuine community. I think that this is a fair discussion that's happening more and more. But I think that it goes back to that earlier point that I said about like you want to find friends, but you also want to be a friend. I think that it's very easy for us to get like wrapped up in the busyness of our own lives that we don't necessarily remember to pour into others. And I think that pouring into others does give us things too. It helps us continue to like feel a part of the community and feel connected. And so there there are going to be times where there's unbalance in relationships. There's going to be times where your friend needs you more than you need them, and you have to give them a little bit more support, and that might flip at other times. But I think it's important to stay empathetic, stay compassionate, and always be looking to provide and be a part of genuine community. And if it doesn't work out, knowing that that rejection, that disappointment doesn't mean that genuine community doesn't exist. Because there are good people everywhere. I've been trying to reach out to my friend more after her second kid. She said she was only after her first. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, she said she was lonely after her first. And I think that that's what I love about the internet right now. What I love about the internet right now is that people are starting to have genuine conversations about how like our individualistic culture in America does lead to a lot of isolation and loneliness for people. And I think that like without having like those genuine community touch points, it can be hard to like keep up with people and keep in community. And that's why, even though Ren was just like, you said a calendar invite to call your friends, but like, but really have a calendar invite to call your friends and check in on them. Because I think that there's so many people who are struggling and looking for community, looking for love, looking for love in terms of like people to like genuinely like care about them and connect with them, but not knowing how to find it, but also not knowing how to be that for other people too. Because some people are bad friends. Some people are bad friends. But I also think that if we can take the time to communicate with people, be like, hey, like I really needed your support. You didn't show up for me. Like, is everything okay with you? Like, how can we move on? How can we be better friends to each other? And I also think that like one of the things that we have trouble with, or actually I won't say we, I'll say me. One of the things that I have trouble with is like I kind of used to always like think of life a little bit like a movie. And it would be like if somebody did something wrong or something didn't go a certain way, that would kind of just be like the end of that relationship, the end of that person. Like it was just over. And I always, oh, thank you for the orders. And I always like, I ended up having that kind of like mindset with things. But I think that as I'm like maturing and like just like realizing like that there are situations that happen, I think sometimes you just like choose friendship or you don't. And like you can choose like if this is a relationship that like you really value and they do something that like doesn't work out, that you don't agree with, you can be like, hey, bring it to them and be like, hey, this is what happened. I don't like this. We can't continue this way. But if we can find a way to move forward, like I would like to continue. That's a conversation that you can have with people too. But you don't gotta cut them off just because they fucked up one time, like they gave you fish. I think that's part of the problem. Well, so many friends pulled back when Royce was sick. I think that that's really tough, right? But also sometimes people just don't know how to support you too. And I think it sucks when you're the person who needs to be supported. It sucks when you're the person who needs to be supported to tell people how to support you. But sometimes when people don't know what to do, they freeze and they pull away. And that is an uncomfortable truth and it's an unfortunate truth. But I think that if you value that relationship and you wanna nourish it and flourish with it, just you can feel free, you can reach out and be able to like not be afraid to make that first move. She was going through PPD and was one of the first friends to have a kid. It's tough. I just got used to being by myself all the time, and it's odd now when people miss me or message me. But I think that there are probably people who have been thinking about you that you don't know that they're thinking about you, and they might not know how to re-enter. So if you feel like it's a relationship worth pursuing, I don't think that there's anything wrong with just seeing if there's something still there, if there's still like a relationship and a friendship there, because I think that friendship is such a beautiful thing. And it's such an amazing thing to just like know people and to be known by people. I think that like everyone is seeking to be seen, and not necessarily like in a way where you become like famous or whatever, just like to be, just for people to love and appreciate you as you are, and looking for that acceptance. Chi making sure, um, what, not Aaron Pierre, I'm done. I've struggled with knowing, I don't have the right words, so not saying anything, and then felt terrible. And I think that this is gonna be sound like such funny advice, but sometimes I think this is a place where like Chat GBT can come in and be really helpful. And because like I will say this, I am from New York and I am also Nigerian. I can be very direct and very blunt. And sometimes it is not always taken well. It is not always taken right. But if you wanna get something out, you can word vomit into ChatGPT or word vomit into Gemini, and then have it help you like streamline and organize your thoughts so that you can more effectively communicate how you feel, in a way that like feels more appropriate to the outcome that you want. I really oh, thank you, Damien. So sweet. But yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. Yo, the conversation is really hopping on both. Okay, we got so much going on here. You can do it, doctoral student. I'm gonna finish my business administration degree. I'm so proud of you, Tara. Why don't you try reaching out to your friends? At least you can see, you can say you're trying. I'm not looking forward to calculus 1 and 2. I'm good at math, but the problems are so long. The problems do be long. I do like calc 1 and 2. They making you take. I haven't taken that since college and high school. um, well, I'm a little by little gonna see one of my girlfriends this week, so I'm guess I'm realizing some of my colleagues are friends too. I'm always working and juggling momhood. Christina, don't be hard on yourself, but make sure that you are giving yourself time to be Christina. Christina the woman, not Christina the mom, um, not Christina the worker, but Christina the person. Give yourself that space. You deserve it. I watched my niece's baby one day this week so she can go to the gym with her sister. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. Are you going to? Yes, you should definitely dress up for hanging out with your friend Christina. I love it. Ordered a pillowcase. I'm so excited. Oh, thank you so much. God forgave. I appreciate you, beautiful. Thank you guys. We're having such a deep discussion tonight. Are we gonna get? Do y'all want to? Oh, it's already 8. Time's up. Oh, Chile. We did. I think we did 2 stories. I also need to make calendar evites for myself to invest time in myself and my joy. I think that that is important too. I'm working on being better and being more on top of like taking care of myself personally. I think like I poured so much energy into my business and so much of myself into my business that my personal life can fall to the wayside. And I decided like today I was like, I want to like live a happier and fuller life. And part of that happiness comes from like taking care of and investing in my space, taking care of and investing in myself, and taking care of and investing in my friendships. And it's going to be tough to find a balance that works for me. But what I've decided that what's happening right now isn't working. So what's the harm in trying something different? So that's what I'm going for. I have a friend who will flat out ask how she can be supportive. And I love that. I love that. Like, I think that, like, I've started doing that more too, because I will say this, I do tend to be a very prescriptive person. So I do like to tell people what to do. I can't turn off the boss chi. But I have started to ask people like, how can I best support you, or how can I help you with this if I don't have an idea, or I can be like, hey, I want, because even sometimes that question alone can be overwhelming. So I'm like, hey, I want to do this, but is there a way that I can best support you? So they have like an idea of what I'm thinking about doing. And that also like just like takes off some of the burden off of them too, if it's someone who I'm looking to support. Yeah, everybody said that when Roy was sick, everyone said they didn't know what to say, so I was alone. And that sucks. That sucks, Ren, and I'm so sorry that you went through that. But I think that we're living in a society in a time where people are so afraid of doing the wrong thing that they're not doing anything, and it's leaving people alone. And I think that sometimes, like, what people don't understand is that when you're going through a tough time, like, you just want to know that somebody cares. Like, you just want to know that somebody cares, that somebody sees you, somebody's thinking of you. So I can totally understand how that's really tough. A Nigerian, a New Yorker, a Taurus, that wisdom will be sharp. You already know, girl. I just got in the habit of being in silence, and I still think I'm friends. I just don't text. Text them if you want to text them. What pattern of pillowcase? I have quite a few too. I love a good pillowcase. Um, Not Takar smells like pink and vanilla. It's Smex's older sister. Tara says she wants one more story. Okay, heard you. Tara, thank you for deleting the weirdos. Get a little cute purr. Lamino, I might get a little cute. I will be dressing up later this month for a gala. Ooh, gala sounds fun. I'm here for it. You deserve a good time, mama. Okay, we're gonna do one more. And then we're gonna wrap for the night because we're going a little over. But I feel like that was a needed discussion. And I do think that, like, when it comes to friendship, we can take responsibility because the only thing that you can control are the things that you do. You cannot control anybody else. That's been a hard pill for me to swallow. That has been a hard pill for your girl to swallow. But because of that, I'm focusing and I focus on being a good friend, showing up for my friends in the ways that I can show up for them, and then also reaching out more readily when I need support because I am someone who turns inward if things aren't going my way or if I'm feeling down. I am someone who tends to turn inward. And I think part of it is because of my personality, I do feel like there's an expectation for me to always be like light and happy and fun. So if I'm not feeling that, like, I tend to like hide from people because I don't want people to see that. But what I've learned is that when people love you, they love you. They love all of you. They love the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the sad, the happy. I'm tearing out because, like, my friends are so amazing and I love them so much. But when people love you, they love you. So show up as you are. And those who mind don't matter, and those who matter won't mind, okay? All right, I love you guys. Let's go ahead and do our last story. Not me tearing up. Ooh, and the YouTube is going to capture it. Me losing my Taurus card every day. Every day. Okay. Am I the a-hole for expecting to be repaid money owed when a friend is in a bad situation? A friend of mine who for years has been 100% reliable, always had my back, whose word could be trusted, let me down recently, and I have been accused of being unreasonable with my attitude. I was also accused of letting money change me as a person, talking shit about her behind her back, taking sides between her and another person, and I'm sure a number of things that I wasn't even aware of. For several years, I have been friends with this person and their significant other. She was my best friend, but he was also a good friend as well. He works as a handyman and has been doing some work on my house in his off hours. They have a young child who is at the end of a 3-year journey with leukemia. Oh, wow. For starters, she apparently has literally started war with him because of their personal problems as a couple. She also seems to be expecting everyone they know to take her side in this argument that is not the concern of anyone other than the two of them and something only they can work out between themselves. Okay. A while back, I helped both of them out financially, but separately. What each of them owes me is on an individual basis. In other words, there is an amount he owes me, and there's a separate amount that she owes me. He has been repaying his part, and he and I are still on good terms. And like always, my friendship with him is separate from my friendship with her. To explain the situation a little better, they share a child. They are sort of together, but live separately. She seems to expect, as loyalty to her friends and family treat him like a subhuman creature. I don't take sides in other people's issues, and I won't have anybody telling me how to treat another person because it just isn't right. Meanwhile, she owes me over $2,000 and refuses to pay me back, refuses to even speak with me, etc., because I won't do as she asks and take her side in her problem with her relationship. Back in February, she insisted that I do her taxes and was expecting a large enough refund to pay me back. In the past, she would have done so, but this year she did not pay me for doing the tax return. I am an accountant. As well as refusing to pay me the money she owed me when she got her refund. Came back to me with I can't believe you're stressing me over money when you know I don't even have a home. My feeling is, whose fault is that? Ooh! I'm essentially being accused of being a total and complete asshole among a few other less complimentary things. So tell me, am I really being an asshole for taking up for myself and expecting a person to do what they said that they were going to do? Um, Now we had that deep conversation about friendship, and now we got a bad friend. I think a couple of things. I don't think this person is the asshole for like being like, hey, like asking for what they are owed. Like I think that if there were whatever stipulations they had in the when they lent the money is fair enough, and those should be followed, but despite whatever. As a Taurus, I am the type of person that if my friend don't fuck with you no more, I don't care if we was just skipping through the field together and picking daisies. I don't fuck with you no more. That is me. That is how I roll. And it's like it's whoever is my closer friend, whoever is my friend first. I think that treating someone disrespectfully is not in my nature, and that's not how my parents raised me. So you're not gonna get me to be saying crazy shit to this person because y'all are not together anymore. And then also when it comes to somebody and their man, you really never know what's going on. Like she could tell you one thing and then 2 weeks later they back together. So I'm really not gonna be taking up no fights with anybody's man because I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. But I'm not trying to take any part in it. Y'all are so sweet. Can't miss business and money. You can be my friend, but you still not signing an MOU if we're doing business, boo, right? Like, excuse me. And also $2,000 is a lot. Like, asking a friend for two racks is a lot. And also the like, how are you asking me for $2,000 when I don't have a home? Do you not have a home because you are yelling at that man? It's like, because I'm trying to figure out what's going. But honestly, whatever problem they're having, I do appreciate that. I can tell that this person is actually a fully reasonable person because they did not go ahead and air out their friend and all their friends' dirty laundry. They were just like they just having an issue between the two of them, But yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot. Business and no, but I think that mixing money and friends can be tough, but I think it just has to be like laid out and there has to be honesty. And I think that like when the person got the return, them not paying back even part of the 2K, because I don't even think it was like he like I thought the accountant would know how much you were gonna get back. That's what it was confusing me. Because you don't know how much they were going to get back. I thought that because they usually don't they tell you how much you're going to get back at the end of your return, so they should know. He or she should have known how much the person was going to get back anyway. But I would have been like, hey, you should like if that was the expectation, that should be right. That's how they treat it. I don't ever lend money with the expectation. I think that like I agree with that. I'm not gonna lend somebody money. If someone asks me for money, I'm not going to lend it to them with the expectation that they're going to pay me back. If I'm not happy, if I don't feel happy giving it, I'm not giving it. That's how I feel about it. But if someone says to me like, hey, I'm loaning you, hey, I need you to loan me a large sum of money, because I feel like anything over $1,000, if it's like $100 or like $400, $300, like that's like, I'm not going to really think about that. But if you're asking me for like $2,000, you ask me for $5,000, $10,000, I am going to expect to be paid back. Like, I'm generous. I'm not that generous. Sorry, I'm generous. I'm not that generous. But I would have like a plan and be like, okay, this is what I'm expecting. And if things change, I just expect honesty. Like, because even if because instead of her being like, I'm not paying you back because you're not being mean to this guy, like, that's crazy to me. If it was like I'm not paying you back because I can't pay you back at this time because X, Y, and Z things have come up, but I'm working on these things so that I can be in a better position to pay you back. That's a completely different conversation, you know? So I feel like this person is being disingenuous, and that's what I don't like. She should have wrote a contract with that friend. I think, yeah, $2,000. We gonna need to have some stuff in writing, because if I gotta take you to small claims court, I need to have the receipts, timelines, the receipts and timelines. Um, Never lend money you can't afford not to see again. I think that's true, but I also think that like I think that that's true, but I also feel like if you're in a trusted relationship, because I'm also sitting and thinking about like, when it comes to like building in a community and stuff, like there has to be like ways in which we support each other, right? So for example, like a lot of times when people used to start businesses in back in the olden days, like you would have like everyone, your friends in your community come together to help you support that business and create that business, right? And sometimes they wouldn't see a return for years. I think as long as like there's an expectation of as long as there is like an agreement of like where the return is going to come and how it's going to come, I don't think it's a bad thing to like lend money to your friends. I don't think that you should lend money that you're not willing to never see again, because that is what happens when you invest in some people. There's some people who it just doesn't work out. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person, it just doesn't work out. But I do think that effective communication is important. I do think that like I do think that punishing someone for not being mean to somebody else is weird. She's like behaving very weird and very badly in the situation. And it doesn't sound like the OP was like saying like, oh, like I'm like I really need this $2,000. I think it's because like I think they're more upset that they're feeling like they're being punished monetarily, because like they're not being rude to somebody, which I think is, I agree, is freaking weird. Like it is weird. But you should not lend money that you can't afford to not see again. Is the money for treatment for her kid? That's what she used the money for. What she used the money on with me would matter more to me. I totally get that. I'm not sure what the money was. It sounds to me like because their kid has leukemia, I think that some other things fell under the wayside, because this person said that they lent money to both the husband, well, the man and the woman in the situation separately. So they didn't clarify what the money was used for. But it seems like the guy is committed to paying her back or paying the OP back, but the woman is not. I'm not sure. I do feel like this is weird. I'm not sure what the $2,000 is. Chim's out here with receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. You know what? OP is just talking about the money, not about the life-ending trauma her friend is going through. And I think that that's fair. But to be fair, the father of the child is also going through the same situation. So, and the reasons being given for not for not for not returning funds, the reason being given to the OP is like, I am not paying you back because you have not cut this man off. That is the reason that the OP got, which I think is a very strange thing to say and to do, especially to someone who's supposed to be your best friend. Like, I think that's where I'm like, the suspicion. I'm looking with suspicious eyes. Um, Let me see what Christina got. Can't mix business with money, business and friends per. This is why I don't be making new friends. I mean, you shouldn't, like, if you have a new friend and they asking you for two racks, you might have to reassess what's going on there. Don't let the story discourage you. Just don't let 2K, right? But oh, this is so crazy. It looked like somebody moved, but it was just my shadow. That was scary. So don't let the story discourage you. I think that like I think that if you can't go to your friends for help, I think that money is so weird because it's like I think that there's so much energy attached to money and there can be so much like negativity wrapped around money. But I think that if if you try to support someone that you care about because they need it, I think don't give more than what you are okay with giving. I think that's super important. I think like what you're okay with losing. I think that's super important because you never know, because just because someone has one emergency doesn't mean that there's not another emergency around the corner. So I think that that's a fair rule of thumb. And the second thing is that, like, I do think that people can get weird about money because I feel like as a society we don't talk about it enough. Um, but I would just like try and have the conversation. I do think that the person who has been lent the money is being weird by saying, like, if you don't cut this person off, I won't pay you back. That just seems really, that makes me uncomfortable. That makes me uncomfortable. And it also feels like they're being manipulative. And I think that I understand that they're going through a tough time, but it's a different thing to say, like, hey, I can't pay you back this $2,000 because I need money for my child's treatment, versus I can't pay you back this $2,000 because you're still talking to my ex-boyfriend and we don't like him anymore. Like, it's different. It's different, and it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. All right, y'all. I hate to end on a sad note, but I do think that if from Bonnets and Bottles, our assignments this week is to reach out, to be a friend, and to enjoy some fantastic adult friendship with our friends. And if you haven't called a friend in a while, try and call somebody that you haven't called in a while, because you never know. You never know. You never know who's missing you too. You said, "La." What is this one? You said, "Lol, I definitely," but I agree. I've learned that if I ever lend money, it would be with the expectation of no return. So either you got to be really close to that person or really close to God that day. Not close to God. Christina, you're so funny. Oh my goodness. But true. I think that, like, but I don't think it's wrong to, like, to help people out if you're in a position to help. I think that you should. Also, the candle in the back does make it look very ghost story, the flickering light in the back. I should tell some ghost stories. It should be fun. But you really got me cracking up here, girl. I think that, yeah, we should be open to, let us all be open to friendship this week. Reach out to friends, be friends, have our friends, pull them closer. And if you don't have any friends physically close to you that you can connect with, I would try and see if you can pick up a hobby, pick up something where you can meet people to be friends with. Because you never know. I'm not saying that things are going to work out right away. I think we have to be prepared for things to not work out right away, but not remind me to reach out to our buddy me's. But I do think that it's important that we continue to build community with those that are around us, in addition to the people that we see virtually. All right. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this installment of Bonnets and Bottles. We'll be back again next week, Sunday at 7, for more Bonnets and Bottles. I'm going to say goodnight to my YouTube crew. I love you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh, this X is not Xing. What is going on? You two don't want to leave. Okay, there we go. Bye. This is not leaving. Is this frozen?